Okay, our CSS Pokedex continues, looking at some of those rare, lesser known CSS gems. This week it's the awesome min and max functions. Really valuable. Have a look.
So now obviously web is all about being responsive. It's about being able to scale and adapt your web page to work in different browser widths. However, the actual term responsive is sort of starting to more refer to fluid websites rather than websites that just break at 3 different viewports. You really want something that's going to flow and work as needed. There's also a problem with responsive to do with scale, because we're moving away from set pixels to view widths and percentages. And there's a chance that on really big screens or on quite small displays, you're going to create quite ugly layouts that you hadn't anticipated. So that's where these min-max come in. You can use them for lots of things like font sizes or paddings, widths, heights and things, where you want to provide a range that will cap these things and stop them from becoming too excessive. It's tricky to remember the way round, but really min is actually about setting the max and max is about setting the min. What I mean is, in the function you provide 2 values. So it might be a scalable value like a view width, and then a fixed pixel size like 500 pixels. The browser will have to pick which of those 2 values is smallest. So on your small screen, you might decide that 10 view widths is actually a much smaller, so it will work with that. But on a much bigger screen, 10 view widths could actually start to become quite large. So instead it will fall to that 200 pixel setting you put on it. Basically what you're saying is that 200 pixel setting is the maximum size it will ever go to, because at that point it will cap and it will only get to that size and grow no bigger. So min is actually a function for you setting a max. Conversely, the max works in the opposite. So the max function, you set 2 values, but you're basically setting a base size of the smallest something should be. It will look at the 2 values and then provide which is the biggest, and then it will always render the biggest of the 2. So really the second value you're giving is like what's the least small this thing could be, and then obviously scale from here. So just remember it as min is about setting the max and max is about setting the min. This is not unlike CSS Grid has its own min-max function, which again sets it to work with either a pixel value and then scale to the available free space. What you're trying to do is move away from that kind of traditional view of mobile, tablet, desktop of 3 different designs, and at different breakpoints your browser just suddenly jumps and rebuilds the page. The idea is perhaps you build fluid, smooth, responsive websites where elements and components have their own control flow about where they use the available space and how they fill a container to naturally grow and work within the dimensions of the web page they're in. These functions, and also the clamp, which we won't cover but basically involves a combination of these, are massive helpers towards building truly responsive websites. Worth doing.